Want to know what a real man would tell their lady about love and life? You're in the right place. This is Hello Ladies with Rom Wills. Rom Wills is a speaker and author of several books on relationships. Grab some wine, sit back, and enjoy.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to my spot. You gotta love yourself. You know what? And hopefully this will be short. But ladies, one thing, and this is from the outside looking in, many women don't love themselves. And I know y'all project this thing of being strong, independent, confident. But understand, I'm one of those people, I look right through you. And I can see it. And if I can see it, men with negative intentions can see it. Just the low self-esteem. Just the self-loathing. Just how you treat yourself. Right? Because part of that not loving yourself, since you don't feel lovable, you'll deal with a man who won't love you. You don't feel like that you can deserve a certain amount of love. And this ain't talking in terms of entitlement. But you'll feel like you might meet a guy, a good guy. And for whatever reason, because you don't love yourself, you don't feel like you deserve him. I mean, he could be interested in you. I mean, that's a big dynamic on why many women will skip out on a good guy who will treat them well and deal with somebody who will treat them like shit. Because since the woman feels like that, she automatically gravitates towards the man who confirms it for her. Right? And they'll stick with it because they don't feel good about it. Because one thing I found with women who love themselves, they don't get dogged. They don't get treated poorly. And here's why. Now, it's not to say a man won't try, but the woman will either do two things. She will either let that man know in a polite or maybe not so polite way not to do it, to treat her a certain way, or she won't stay there. I'm very familiar with women who've gone through domestic violence. And, you'll go through the trouble rescuing them and getting them out the situation. What they do, they go right back to it. And it ain't like a thing they're addicted to the violence, but they don't think they can do better. That's why you get many women who, they go for bad boys, they go for thugs, like people who just mistreat them. But because they don't love themselves, they don't come out the situation. Deep down, they actually think they deserve this. They don't think they deserve like real love. They'll think, well, who would want me? Why would this guy want me? That's why really, that's one of the biggest reasons why some women, they will go from bad guy to bad guy. And then when they do actually have a good guy who's interested in them, who got something going on, they'll come up with 1,000 excuses why they can't deal with them. A dude who wants to give them love, a dude who wants to hold them, they'll come up, we have it. I might have some women like that on here. They don't love themselves. They don't feel good about themselves. That's why they allow themselves to get degraded. That's why they'll put up with a man who cheats on them blatantly. Because they don't feel like they deserve anybody. They don't love themselves. See, when a person loves themselves, they're going to do what's best for themselves. I can always tell when a woman loves herself. She don't have to say anything. She don't have to be like, I'm a strong woman. She just going to walk and talk that way. She going to carry herself that way when she walk down the street. In fact, women who love themselves are the best, in my opinion. From a man's point of view, when a woman loves herself, she's the best woman to deal with, whether you're in a relationship, whether it's platonic, whether it's just passing by, because they're friendly. They're friendly, they're attractive. Because a person who loves themselves, one, will take care of themselves. They ain't going to let themselves get out of shape, or they're going to fix up, and they're going to always be pleasant, And like I said, when I say, let me get back to that out of shape thing, they're not going to harm their body. They're not going to put drugs in their body or, smoke, do stuff that's going to harm their body. They also not going to have negative emotions which harm their body more than anything else. You know, when you see people and they walk around and they got a certain look, they got a certain aura or something, that's because, you know, they don't love themselves. They got a certain image about themselves and they just feel down, you know? And it's like, it's tough. It's tough to get through. It's tough to get through. And, you know, in all fairness to the women, I can understand why it could happen. You know, I've talked a lot about a woman's imprint. You know, if the father, you know, many women whose fathers ducked out on them or abused them or neglected them in any way, that can cause them to feel it. Sometimes they can feel it from the mothers too. You got women out there, like all mothers aren't good mothers. You got women out there, the mothers didn't show them enough love. Fathers definitely did. So what they do, they go out and find a similar type of person, similar type of guy, because since they looking for love. See, here's a little secret, ladies. And this is why a lot of women will chase the same bad guy over. If that imprint, like the father and then 2 or 3 of the first men that a woman has sex with, treated her in a certain way, she's still trying to resolve that issue. So what happens is a woman will always, she'll search for that bad guy to start treating her well. You know, when I first introduced the concept of imprints, you had a lot of guys thinking, oh, they could just go in and break it just with some good sex. No, it's deeper than that. Basically, the person to really break an imprint, to truly break it, that man would have to have the same general personality as the imprint and then go in a different direction personality-wise. The sex part is really irrelevant. A woman can have an orgasm with whoever and the imprint's still there. Basically, she's looking to solve that issue with the men. She's looking for that bad boy to change his mind and love her. Now, it's a shame. It's easy to say, oh, just go for the good guy, but it's a deep thing. But anybody who has this now have trouble loving themselves now, understand that issue goes deep. And you have to do whatever you can to address that issue. Now, finding the guy who's similar to your imprint and your imprint was bad, who's all of a sudden going to change up and do it, it might not happen. I hate to say that. I hate to be the one to say that, but I have to be honest with it. You want to you got to really just first be conscious of the issue. Why don't you love yourself? That's the first thing. You got to be conscious of that. Then once you are conscious of that, you got to make a conscious decision to find a way to love yourself. And you can't wait for a guy to do it or daddy to act right, whoever. You have to love yourself first. You have to look in the mirror and see your value. Right? Because once you see your value, then that's when you can really break it yourself. You don't need a man to do it. Once you see your value, change how you think, that changes everything else. So, anyway, you got to love yourself. Right? You got to love yourself. So anyway, that's it for me today, ladies. I'll get back with you later. Peace and blessings.